Hi guys, here are 6 ways to pitch to brands you want to work with as influencers. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So before pitching, do your research. Why is it important? You're asking for money, so do them a favor and be on their level first. Handle research with the most energy. There are so many ways to angle a pitch and even more ways to make a mistake pitching. The most important part of pitching is doing research because it shows you're involved and want to work in a proper collab, not just take product and money. It's basically a job interview. So as an influencer agent, I've had clients mess up simply because they didn't do research. Everybody does it, and even brands mess up, so pick up yourself and carry on. Pitch wisely and carefully by lifting their veil carefully. I said carefully twice. I used to pitch to 25 brands a day in one sitting and get only like 1 to 2 responses. And now I'm pitching only to 7 because like 7 in a couple minutes because I'm tired, but then I get 6 responses, no exaggeration. So here's how to pitch efficiently by doing some research. And number 1 is know the founder. This is easy to Google, so do it. Find out if they're alive, if they're dead, if they have a purpose for starting the company, if they started it on accident, if they're still alive, find out what they're up to lately, and read the most news and the recent news articles about them, including smaller publications. Not every brand you want to work with might be a huge conglomerate. They could also be a smaller business. And I've searched founders and have found videos on what's in their beauty bag. And if they were a founder of a beauty company, they would have something like this. And you can pitch and say, I saw the founder of this company and she had this in her bag, as I do also. I knew we aligned in so many ways, including our values, and we have so much in common. Let's work together. We're a great fit. It could be any written piece that's mentioned them that's notable. It doesn't have to be a super deep dive into the company's history if you already feel passionate about them, and it could be a significant or viral piece of info that makes them stand out. So example would be Chanel versus Dior, where Gabrielle Chanel started the trend of the little black dress that's a very loose shift dress that a woman can be comfortable and move in, while Christian Dior cinched an A-line silhouette. So that's what separated Chanel at the time as a designer, and whatever makes the brand interesting and stand out. So number 2 is find out their mission statement. This is important if you want to work anywhere or have a lasting career. I was working on a brand workshop, and the first thing they asked was, what's your mission statement? So that's how you brand, that's how you niche, that's how you find your audience, that's how you can target your audience and see if your brand aligns with the brand that you're pitching. It was easier for me in the workshop because I'm in such a specific niche, but it also tells you how you can get paid and how you can find leads. So it was easier to work with other brands, and if I was being intentional, and this is how you can actually see if you guys are a good fit to work with together. So know why you started blogging, and you can bend a pitch to fit their mission. Ask, who is this brand trying to help? Is it similar to my audience? Why are they trying to help them? Is it similar to what I'm trying to achieve? So you can say their values are on brand and you share a following that appreciates it. And you can list the qualities quick in bullet points, and it's very, you don't have to like make a large paragraph about it. So number 3 is learn the basic history. Don't go into detail about what you know about the brand, but know some core facts that help. And it's basically, I was at a job interview at Nordstrom, and just my luck, the first question was, what do you know about Nordstrom? And the lady held a gun to my head. Just kidding. I Googled ways how to get hired at Nordstrom. And literally the first question was that what do you know about Nordstrom? That is what they said. And they said to know all the information of their history. And I said, Nordstrom was started in Seattle as well, in a Nordstrom in Seattle as a shoe store in 1901, XYZ. And another way to do this is go to the brand's about page on their website, and you can say something along the lines of, I know X brand started as X. I have a special place in my heart for these kind of companies and want to support 5ever. Or I really relate to their about story. Insert it here. It really changed the way I see X brand. And number 4 would be update yourself on the brand's latest news. So go to Google News, type in the brand name, and see what hits come up. If it's negative, swerve it. If it's positive, play it up in your pitch. You can even go to Wikipedia and see all their archive campaigns they had in the past. For instance, I was doing an elevator pitch for Balenciaga with a trans influencer. I mentioned to Balenciaga how they had a campaign with Riccardo Tisci in 2017 with Leah T as a trans model who was the first trans person to walk in their show. It's super standout news in the industry of fashion as a whole. So don't be afraid to raise attention to the brand's proudest and brightest moments. Show you're paying attention truly with interested passion as someone who wants to work with a powerhouse name. And this next step is imperative to anything and everything in life, and be prepared with this huge thing. Number 5, annual report. So read their news, read their annual report, check it. It goes hardcore. It shows your level of commitment to the brand and takes updates on the brand to a whole other level. If a company is public, you can Google what their goals are and how much money they make and lose for that year. Depending on the brand, they might update it every year or every 2 years, but have shorter updates on every quarter, aka business cycle, but they have shorter versions in between the longer reports, or some companies do them on odd numbers or even numbers every year and so on. So, for example, in the annual report for McDonald's, it's the photo of the CEO smiling with a quote saying, "We want to focus on influencer marketing this year because it's a way our company can think like a smaller brand again and intimately engage with more people." Or a beauty brand during the pandemic said how they wanted to focus on skincare as opposed to pigmented cosmetics. They were known for lipsticks, but face masks took over the maskne became a new problem, and they wanted to originally sell their mascara, but nobody's going out. So they went up pushing skincare and wanted influencers to get in on it as they were posting self-care at home versus traveling. And you can see how they're pivoting by the annual report. You can message a CMO saying, for instance, "You're a skincare beauty guru on Insta, and all my followers are dying to know your latest take on skincare products for the lockdown." The CMO might respond, forwarding your email to the person in charge of digital marketing or influencer partnering if your pitch is snappy and convincing enough. So number 6, stalk the person you're going to contact who represents the brand. If they have a third-party PR company they want to work with, stalk who's in charge of that or one of the people in charge, because it might be a smaller team. If they do in-house PR, stalk that person and you have no idea how far this gets. It's weird and creepy, but it's okay. They understand influencers are hustlers on the hunt to work, so just be professional. They get 500 emails a day or more as it is, whether you're on Twitter or Insta. Just a heads up, your message might not be sent all the time. If you're not mutual friends on Facebook, have second or third connections on LinkedIn on their account, might be private on Instagram. So sometimes the messages filter to message requests, but that's okay. I typically would message someone on Twitter if they're currently active, but personally I don't do Twitter because it's super political. But my go-to is email. You can find about the person on LinkedIn, what school they went to, what town they're based in, what language they speak. Create some sort of personal connection. If you saw them posting at a music festival, if they were in a sorority, a Girl Scout, or if they posted they saw a certain movie you liked, just connect. That's the whole purpose of social media. So I pitched to a company fluent Swedish and it worked. I've done this in German and French and it typically works for me, at least. If you're trying to hit up LVMH or a Swiss company, learn their language. It doesn't have to be a whole email. Just open up with a couple sentences and what do you call it? A couple, like the first half of the email can just be in their language, and then the rest can be in English to set a precedent for communication. PR people were so friendly after that and were a whole other level of personable. It disarms people when you want to make them comfortable and step into their element, as opposed to talking hard, fast business all the time. Nobody wants to work with an accountant who talks numbers. So especially outside the US, not every nation is kind of work obsessed like us. So if you speak Spanish, find out if the contact speaks Spanish. As long as you actually speak the way that you're writing, it's okay. So remember to be friendly and personable, as they're essentially gonna be your client. So wine and dine these people. They say partnerships are like dating. If this has to be balanced on both ends. If you're an influencer who catches pitches, if you're a PR person, what stands out to you in a pitch? And if you're an influencer, what stands out to you in a catch? So I'd love to know more. If you could just leave them in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.